Update: my husband being the victim of revenge porn has destroyed our marriage. Original post: ever since this happened, I've been sick. My 29 female husband, 30 male, has been the victim of revenge porn. Images of him were sent to our family and friends, and even some of my husband's colleagues. At first, my husband told they were old images from before we met, but some of them were taken in our flat, the flat we moved into together. Afterward, he admitted the images are recent. He met a woman on an online dating app, and he said after they exchanged photos, she began extorting him. He's been paying her from our savings account behind my back. He paid her £5,500. Once he had no more to give, she went through with her threat and released the photos. It has been devastating going through the fallout from this. Not just that my husband was on a dating app, but that he gave her everything we had saved and now we have nothing. The police say whoever extorted him isn't even in this country. He swears he never met anyone in person or cheated on me. We have been married for 2 years and together for 4. We were saving for a down payment and now we have nothing. Nearly everyone we know now knows my husband was on a dating app, exchanging photos with another woman. This has destroyed me. I'm so ashamed. My confession is that I can't stay after this. I just had to tell someone. Now for the top comments before reading the update. If I were in your position, I'd want to file for a divorce and take him to small claims court to get back some of your savings. Additionally, maybe I'd suggest dropping friends who knew. Everyone found out at the same time as I did, when the images of my husband and copies of the erotic messages he sent were forwarded to us on LinkedIn and Instagram. It's a shame, not yours. Remember that. Agreed. Married or not, faithful or not, she shouldn't be doing anything but packing. He didn't cheat. He just sent explicit photos to somebody random on the internet. That's cheating in my opinion. Plus, giving away all y'all's savings instead of fessing up? Like, you throw all our money away, and the photos were released anyway. Oh, I'm sorry you're being caught up in this. He has shown to be deceptive and dumb. Leave him. If we're polling, here's one vote for leave him and never look back. That's what is crazy AF to me. That's a lot of money. Plus, to just keep sending it, and getting threatened to send anyway, should have been a dead giveaway to just let it happen and suffer without going broke. Which, after that, he kinda deserves to suffer a bit. Stay loyal or just be single for Pete's sake. Now for the update. Before I give my update, I want to address some things from my previous post. I mentioned in my previous post that I couldn't stay in my marriage. I don't know why I got comments saying I need to leave him, or asking me why I'm staying after what he did, or messages calling me a doormat, and other names that I won't say here. I am not staying. I am going to get a divorce. I never said anywhere that my husband didn't cheat on me. He said that he didn't meet anyone in person or cheat on me. I don't believe him, and regardless of whether he met anyone or not, I consider being on dating apps to be cheating. I'm not sure why I got comments saying I'm an idiot, acting like a fool, or that I'm wrong, or messages saying the same thing. I never stated anywhere that he didn't cheat. I used the term revenge porn because it was the term used by both the police and the solicitor my husband consulted. English is not my first language, and when speaking to both the police and the solicitor, and on all the paperwork, it was called revenge porn. So it was my belief this was the English term. With English not being my native language and it being a time of stress, I may have used the wrong words in my post, such as revenge porn and down payment. I have turned off the option to receive messages to avoid more bad ones. Now for the update. I have left my husband, just as I said I was going to do. I moved out of our flat on Saturday, and I have a solicitor hired. I have begun the process to get a divorce from my husband. I will not be changing my mind. My husband is upset, and he begged me not to leave him. He keeps saying he is a victim, and I am leaving him in the worst time of his life. He is having trouble in his career because the intimate photos and messages were sent to everyone on his LinkedIn. He might be a victim of the person he met on the dating app, but I am not leaving him because he is a victim. I'm leaving him because he was on a dating app messaging others and exchanging intimate photos, and because he took £5,500 from our savings and left us with nothing. I consider both of those things reasons to get a divorce. Divorce in the UK is only no fault, so anything my husband did is not considered in the divorce. My solicitor told me she will try to see if I can recover some of the money that my husband took. But otherwise, his being on a dating app or anything else from his behavior is not relevant to the divorce. My solicitor says I will most likely not have to pay spousal maintenance because I've only been married for 2 years. She will try to get back the money he took. I have told my husband there's no reason for us to speak or see each other again. I moved out and want a divorce. There is nothing else to say, and I blocked him. I will not change my mind about this. My thanks to all of you who were nice to me and didn't call me names or send messages. I do appreciate it. This was my update. I hope you're okay, OP. I know this must have been devastating, and good on you for doing what you needed to do for you. Same here. That kind of broke my heart to read. Sometimes doing what's best for yourself ends up being the hardest thing. But I'm glad OP chose peace over guilt. Yeah, exactly. There would have been no peace if she had forgiven him because of the lies and secrecy. How could OP trust him again? All it would have been was continued suspicion and anxiety. I'm glad OP walked away because once that trust is broken, it can't be mended back to what it was. It takes real guts to leave what you know for the unknown. And in this case, the devil you know seems worse than whatever good is waiting for OP outside of this marriage. Second story. Update. My boyfriend broke the jewelry box I inherited from my grandmother, and I thought it was my fault. Original post. My boyfriend and I have been together for 1.5 years. There have been a few times when he's blown up on me over the smallest things. Usually, he gets angry and makes it everyone in the house's problem. When I finally stood up for myself, he hurt me in one of the most painful ways possible. I don't know if I should forgive him or if the blame is on me. My grandmother died of lung cancer when I was 12. She was the toughest and most hilarious little old lady, and I miss her every day. Everything my grandmother intended to give us after she passed was taken by one of her sisters before we could get to her house. By the time my mom was finally able to get there, very little remained. Among the few items left was a beautiful white jewelry box that could sit on a counter. My mother gave it to me after seeing how drawn I was to it. That jewelry box was the only thing I had left of my grandmother. When I moved out of state to live with my dad as a teenager, it was one of the few things I refused to leave behind. A couple of days ago, I wanted to get my hair done but was indecisive, so I asked my boyfriend what he thought. I gave him a couple of color choices I was considering: jet black or a random shade of red. He told me he preferred black over red. I took his thoughts into consideration, but ultimately decided to go with the red. As soon as he saw me earlier today after my appointment, he was furious, saying I never listened to him and that he was so repulsed by me he couldn't even sleep with me until I changed it. He called me several expletives. I decided to go lie down and rest before my shift that night. Ignoring him didn't diffuse the situation at all. He started grabbing everything that was mine from our shared bedroom and throwing it down the hallway. He kept saying I was in the way and told me to get up and sleep on the couch. He's done this several times before, and every time he waits until I break down and apologize before I'm allowed to move my things back into our room. This can last anywhere from a few hours to a few weeks. However long it lasts, he makes sure my life is a living hell the entire time, yelling at me, belittling me, and telling me what a terrible person I am. This time, I was over it. I was too exhausted to play his game, so I just lay in bed, trying to drown out the vile things spewing from his mouth. When he saw he wasn't getting a reaction, he started breaking things and tearing up my drawings. Before destroying each item, he kept saying all I had to do was get my things out of his room and get my ugly ass out. When I still refused, he grabbed my jewelry box and held it over his head. As soon as I realized what he was about to do, I became frantic. I started sobbing and begging him to stop. I was so loud that his mom heard me from her bedroom on the other side of the house and came to see what was going on. She tried to reason with him, but he was enraged. He just kept shouting, "Get the heck out now!" After about 30 seconds of chaos, he slammed my jewelry box onto the floor. I was speechless. I began to sob, but no sound came out. His mom looked at me and told me to go sleep in her room and lock the door. As soon as I left, I heard her unleashing on him. I'm positive I heard her slap him hard. I just took my blanket and did as I was told. Eventually, I managed to fall asleep. When I woke up, Both my boyfriend and his mom were gone. I didn't have time to question it because I had to go to work. I'm currently on my lunch break and still haven't heard from either of them. I guess I'll have to figure out what's going on when I get off tomorrow morning. I think it might be my fault he broke it because all I had to do was get out of the room. My stubbornness destroyed one of my most treasured possessions. I feel like an idiot, and I don't even know if there's a way to repair it. I'm just so heartbroken, and I needed to vent. Now for the top comments before reading the update. You know you're describing domestic abuse, right? And his mom knew it and beat the crap out of him. Leave, now. It's not safe for you. Even though I do hope he got his ass beaten, this is probably one of the reasons he thinks beating is okay in the first place. You are at least partially right. His mother had her first daughter at 14, and by the time she was 17, she gained custody of her older sister's kids. She was the guardian for 6 kids before she could legally drink. She has told me some of the horrific things she did as punishment because she didn't know another way to raise kids. His mom and I have had conversations talking about what might be wrong with him neurologically. She always brings up how his personality drastically shifted after his scalp was torn off by a dog when he was 7. After the incident, he would screech at the top of his lungs when he didn't get what he wanted, especially when his older sister babysat him. She would get tired of the yelling and would lock him outside. They lived deep in the woods, nowhere near any other houses or active roads. He would run around the entire house, banging on the doors and windows until she broke and let him inside. If she didn't just give in, he would pull the air conditioning units out of the windows and crawl in, only to terrorize her some more. I think there are several factors that contributed to who he became. He really needs to get some professional help. You didn't mention age, but I'm assuming you are young since he said his room and not his house. Can you go back home? His mom sounds like a good person, but it's his mom, so at the end of the day, she will pick her son. He wanted you to react and picked your most prized possession to destroy. He is abusive, and it will only continue if you stay. If you stay, he will know he can destroy anything and you will take him back. Don't fall for any apologies. We are both 19. My family lives a few states away, so getting to them will not be easy. I've been living with him since my junior year and his senior year in high school. He purposefully failed so that we could graduate together. I will never forget the morning of graduation. His mom tried to wake him up and he blew up on her. He cussed her out, told her he didn't care about her and refused to get up until 5 minutes before we had to leave. He made the way he woke up everyone else's problem. His mom looked at me with tears in her eyes and said I needed to leave him because he is never going to be the man I deserve. I hope you've reached out to your parents or a relative, told them about what dire straits you're in, and tell them that you need help leaving. You need to get out of that house. If you're hearing it from his mom, that's deeply concerning. Save yourself. Now for the update. This is an update to a post I made a couple of days ago. After I got off my shift that morning, my boyfriend was sitting on the front porch waiting for me. As soon as I opened the door and got out, he approached me and kept telling me how sorry he was. I was still very angry and hurt, so I didn't say much. When I walked inside, he led me to our room. It was spotless, the cleanest I think I've ever seen it. He showed me that he had tried to put the jewelry box back together. I know he did his best, but there were pieces missing, and the glass from the doors was shattered. I just looked at him and said, "Thank you." I didn't complain or say anything else because I knew what would happen if I did. Apparently, though, I wasn't enthusiastic enough because he got annoyed almost immediately. He started calling me ungrateful. I told him that he couldn't undo what he did, and that's when he became irate. His mom was at work, so I didn't really have any backup, but his little sister was home. After he started yelling, he grabbed my jewelry box again and took it outside, shouting that I was ungrateful and didn't deserve him. His 6-year-old little sister heard us yelling and followed me outside. We both watched as he threw the jewelry box onto the concrete, smashing it worse than before, and then picked up several pieces and put them in his pocket. I started crying again and fell to my knees beside the remnants. His little sister came over to comfort me and told me that she loves me more than she loves him, that her big brother was really mean. I told her that I loved her too, but she shouldn't say things like that, especially while he could still be listening. She nodded and helped me pick up the shards of wood and glass. I told him I wanted to leave. At first, he called my bluff and said, "Fine, leave then." But when I texted my dad that I needed him to come get me, and he realized what I'd done, he lost it. He started crying uncontrollably, took my phone and texted my dad back, pretending to be me, saying it was all a misunderstanding, that everything was okay, and that we'd worked it out. After that, he spent probably 4 hours talking to me, telling me he was going to be better, that he was sorry, but also pointing out all the things I do that are wrong or shitty. I think tonight was the first time I really looked at him and knew that this is going to be over. I don't know when or how yet, but I know this is not going to be the rest of my life. With all due respect, what are you waiting for? For a long time, I would have said, because I love him. Now I'm just scared. My dog is big, pregnant, and he's already threatened hurting her if I did something. I don't want to leave her and her babies with him. Take your dog with you and find a rescue that can foster her until you can find accommodations. Save the dog and save yourself before it's too late. Also, he said he would end me if I ever left or cheated on him during our arguments. Girl, get the heck out of there. Call your dad from bathroom if you have to, and tell him to come no matter what, because your hopefully soon ex is abusive and controlling, and broke your stuff and he pretends to be you through text. And tell your dad to bring a friend or two. Absolutely. Like any bully, he will not stand up to someone who could take him on. This guy is dangerous.